The key here is you want to cut off the two corners on the top. Corner here and corner here. And once those corners are free, you can use the screwdriver to pry it open pretty easily. You don't need to take off a lot. Welcome back. Today we have a bit of a technical video. We're going to walk through my entire PSA submission process, step by step. Pre-grading, submission, packaging, the online applications, everything you have to do for a PSA submission. I'm going to walk you through it. And if you've done this before, it's a good refresher. And if you're brand new to it, I'll walk you through the whole process so it won't be as intimidating. It's not as hard as you may think. And if you can do it yourself, it's way safer than paying somebody else to do it for you. So stay tuned. You could really benefit from this a lot. Something new we're doing, we're going to have a ticket counter up on the screen. I'm not sure where it's going to be yet, but somewhere on the screen. This is going to be our countdown or count up to how many golden tickets we've given away. We talked about this in our previous videos. When we get to 100, we're going to do the giveaway. We're going to give away one of these Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles. We've got a couple other items we showed on the past video that we're going to raffle out. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we hit it before Christmas. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link that video at the end of this video. Long story short, you just need to buy something from our store on eBay. It's easy. I'll link the eBay store in the description. Every purchase gets you a ticket. The ticket gets you added into the raffle. When we get 100 tickets, we're going to pick one at random. We're going to give some stuff away. It's that simple. Okay, let's get into the actual meat of this video, pre-grading. I got a couple cards here I'm going to use to kind of walk through the 4 categories of PSA grading. So first off, I have a base set Mewtwo. This is actually my wife's childhood card. And this is a good example, an obvious example of some of the things you need to look for. So right off the bat, you can see scratches and print lines in the holographic of the card. That's a dead giveaway. That's probably one of the most obvious things you can see. There's dents, there's a ton of scratches. The surface quality of this card is pretty terrible. Something like this would probably get you, if that was the only thing wrong with it, maybe a 7 with that dent. Denting is graded really harshly. Denting, a dent on a perfect card, I believe is an automatic 7. If everything else we talk about is perfect and it's got a dent or a crease anywhere, I think you can get 7 max. Scratching on the surface is a little subjective. If there's a lot of it like this, it's going to hurt you. I bet you that would get you down to a 7 as well, maybe even a 6. If it's just a couple, I've seen cards with a couple scratches get 8s, maybe even a 9 if it's super minor, but this one's pretty terrible. So check the holographic, look for scratches, and look for print lines. A lot of modern cards have print lines right out of the pack. It'll be straight. It'll be very subtle. You need to catch it in the right light. I don't know that we have one on here that I can show you, not cleanly, but you need to move the card around like this with a flashlight or a bright room to be able to see it. The PSA will dock you for having print lines, so you need to make sure you're very thorough when you're looking it over like this. Second thing, back of the card. Whitening. This one, again, I picked this because it's super obvious what we're looking at. You can see the whitening at the top, all the corners, it's on the sides. There's all kinds of whitening all over this thing. A little bit of whitening, even at a corner, a speck of whitening can knock you from a 10 to a 9. Something like this would be considered, they're not going to give it a near mint. I bet you this is a 6 or a 5. It's bad. It's every side of the card. So check the back of the card. You're not going to see that whitening on the front necessarily. It won't be as obvious. But on the back, it's very clear. It's very pronounced on the blue. So number 2, check your edges and corners for whitening. While we're here on the back, you want to check for centering. You're going to check for centering on the front and the back. The back, I'm told, isn't graded as harshly as the front with centering. This tool here, I got on Amazon. It just gives you measurements. So you center the card in the middle of the box, and it can tell you exactly the size of each border. So let me back up a little bit. You see the dark blue border around the perimeter? PSA will grade how even the size of that border is, left to right and top to bottom. They're supposed to be symmetrical. So when we look at this card here, you can see it's hard on the camera, but top to bottom is pretty much the same. And left to right, again, consistent. Centering on this card is good. You can eyeball this a lot of the time. You don't necessarily need a template or a tool like this to do it, but having this tool helps a lot, especially if what everybody's been saying about PSA lately, that they're grading harsher on centering. You may want this, because something that might have got a 10 last year may not now. I think what they will allow, I want to say it's the 60-40 split. I think. Don't quote me on that. We'll have to look it up. But it seems to be stricter now than it's been in the past. So you do the same thing on the front of the card. You line it up. You can see how the lines match up left to right and top to bottom. It's a real easy way to check the centering. So if you're looking for something that's going to get a 10, you want a tool like this to help you confirm that the spacing of the borders is consistent and equal. Something else you want to look for, and it's very obvious on the right side of this card, whitening or silvering on the edges. It's going to be hard to show it on the camera. I'm going to try my best. But there's some clear silver on the edge of this card, similar to how you have the white on the back. It's almost like the holographic on the front is visible behind the yellow of the border. You can see it a little bit right there. The camera doesn't want to really focus on it, but if you're looking at a card in person and you get it under a bright light, you'll see it. It's reflective. So similar to how you check the back for whitening, you want to check the front edges for silvering. And this card has it on all four sides. Again, I'm sorry it's hard to see it in this video, but it's there. So that's it. Surface, centering, corners, and edges. Those are the four things you want to look for. When you're looking at surface, again, it's not just scratches. You're looking for dents and creases, because those are going to seriously hurt you. A good example of that is this card here. The card looks pretty clean to the naked eye under the right light. This is why you need to be careful buying stuff on eBay, because it's really easy to make a card look mint in a picture with the right camera angle. This one looks perfect. But in person, you can see right there, there's a huge dent. Like somebody pushed the back of this card in with a pen. That is going to severely damage the grade of this card. You can see it in the back too, under the right light. And make sure you're looking for that as well. And cleanliness, I mean, we talked about surface condition. We talked about scratches and dents and folds and things like that. But you also need to look for staining or marking. Sometimes there's pen or ink or watermarks, any kind of surface blemish, anything that wasn't there when it came out of the back, pretty much you want to look for. This card doesn't have much other than a bunch of scratches, but check for smudges, staining. Sometimes a smudge can gently be rubbed off. So if you've got a really clean card with a little bit of debris on it or something, try to clean it. There's ways to clean it. I usually use a Q-tip and a little bit of water. I know people on YouTube have channels built around repairing cards and cleaning cards. So there's more sophisticated ways to do it than what I do. But I don't really have any kind of experience with that. So I would recommend you go watch those videos if you're thinking about doing something like that. Okay. Part 2 of my PSA submission process, and a lot of what I've been doing lately, is I'm buying cards online that I think look pretty mint, that I think could get a PSA 10, that have a CGC 9.5 or a 10 or a PSA 9. Now, we know grading can be subjective and that a 9 could cross grade over to a 10 pretty easily. So this card I got on eBay a couple months ago for a good price because it's a 9.5. I think the centering is great. The surface looks great. I don't see any whitening on the back. I'm going to try breaking this thing out of the slab, submitting it to PSA, and seeing if we can get a 10. So that process is a little more challenging and takes a little bit of practice and patience and some equipment. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. I recommend you get a good flathead screwdriver, some kind of pliers or wire cutters. I prefer wire cutters because they give you a nice sharp edge, and a rag to catch the shrapnel, because when you cut into this thing, it's going to send plastic all over the place, make a mess. I'm going to try to show you what I'm doing here without covering it. I'm going to make a mess over here, but listen to what I say, not what I do. For demonstration purposes, I want you to be able to see it. So the key here is you want to cut off the two corners on the top. Corner here and corner here. And once those corners are free, you can use a screwdriver to pry it open pretty easily. You don't need to take off a lot. About right there. And if we squeeze hard enough, try to catch some of this. Here we go. That corner came off pretty good. Now we gotta do the same thing over here. This is an expensive card, so be careful when you're doing stuff like this. High risk, high reward. Say goodbye. Done. Okay. There we go. Our corners are clear. Let's get this light out of the way. That's the easy part. Now, we take the screwdriver and we find an opening. You don't want to have to force it. So it's not going in easy on this side. Let's try the other side. There we go. We got a little bit of opening here. See that? Starting to come free. I had a card one time like this, and I was pushing the screwdriver in too hard. It punched all the way through and scratched down the surface of the card. So be careful. You don't want to put a ton of pressure on this. You just want to gently pop it open. Little movements, a little bit at a time. Then when you get to the card, lift. That's it. We're free. Covers off. Let's gently get the card out. Put it in a fresh sleeve and a card saver. So you're going to need these for your submission, so I recommend you buy a box of them. I'm going to carefully lift this card out. I've tried doing this so many different ways. I don't know how I like doing it the best, but something like that. Nice and easy. Let's get the mess out of here. Let's check it out. Let's put it this way. Oh, fuck it. Let's check it out. Carefully. Centering looks good. I don't see any whitening. The front of this card is beautiful. I love this card so much. Centering looks good, maybe a little heavy on the top compared to the bottom. No guarantee this is going to get a 10. It's a little bit of a gamble. But I think I'm going to send it in either way because I think as a PSA 9, it still holds some value. So the top of this card is measuring at just about a 3. Just about a 3. And the bottom is measuring at just about a 3. Huh. It's hard looking at this on camera. The bottom's a 2. The top is 2.5. It's close. It's really, really close. I'm hoping it's close enough for PSA to give it a 10. The sides look perfect. It's just a little top heavy. So we'll see. There's no going back now. And for what I paid for it, you save a lot of money buying CGC 9.5s and 10s. They don't carry the same kind of premium that a PSA 9 would. So I think the risk we're taking here, pretty small. The upside, pretty great. So that's the whole opening process for CGC. PSA isn't much different. It's the exact same process. You break the corners and you pull you wedge the screwdriver in and you pry it out. I like to always save the label so I can go back and reference what it had, because it's really easy to forget. I'll send that card in, I'll send that need-to in, I won't get it for a few months, it'll come back, I won't remember what it was or how I got it. If I save this label, it's a good way for me to reference how I did. Did it improve? Did it come back a 9? What was it at? I'll pull that out later. I've got a whole stack of them. I always save the labels. Save the labels. Every time you break open a slab, it's good to have it to go back and reference. That's essentially all the hands-on work. What comes next, not nearly as exciting. After you've figured out which cards you want to send in, you got to create a PSA account. There's all kinds of specials and deals with other YouTubers where you can get codes off. I think Cool Trainer Ryan has one. I think all of the big guys on YouTube have them. Get a code. I think it's $20 off your first submission. They have specials. I'm gonna probably wait till Friday to send anything in because I'm hoping they have a Black Friday special. They haven't done a lot of specials lately. I think they've had a ton of demand, so their prices have been going up. Their turnaround times are going up. They're probably not going to do any kind of deals this week, but it's worth a shot. I'm going to give it a chance. And if you have a PSA membership, they send out promos and magazines. The promos I think I got 2 promos last year, which graded 10s, and they're pretty valuable. And you get a magazine every month, which is nice. You get some information on grading and the market and things like that. So it's worth the money if you're going to be doing a good amount of submissions, because the cost of the membership is, I think, maybe $120 now. Changes so often. You got to grade it a certain number of cards a year for it to be worth it. So you got to figure that math out and see if it's worth it or if you should just go to GameStop and have them do it for you. Okay, so you get your account, you go through to submission, you want to select trading cards, you're going to select grading. We don't need any of the review or crossover or reholder. That's for another video. Trading cards. So this is where you need to think about what you're sending in. You could do Express, which if you want something really fast, you do Express. You could do all kinds of different categories. What I'm doing is just bulk. It's max insured value of up to $300. I don't think I'm sending anything in that's that much more than $300. Maybe get to 10. And it's the cheapest cost per item. Sometimes if you send something in as bulk and they grade it and they determine that it's worth a lot more than $300, they may charge you a slight upcharge to get you to something like value bulk up to $500, which will cost you another $3. So not the end of the world. I usually just stay right here. And this is where you search. You have to list every card individually. I think the search feature kind of sucks. It's not intuitive. I could type in Mewtwo. Let's look at the Mewtwo we just pulled out of the case. Mewtwo V-Star. Let's see if that comes up. Okay, so we got a couple options. It did come up. There's multiple arts of this card, different sets, different languages. There's probably a better way to search it than this. You might be able to put in the number. Here's the card, but in Japanese, so that's not what we're looking for. Let's try GG44EN. German, Italian, French, Spanish. Here we go. This is it. So maybe there's a better way to do this. Maybe I just suck at it. I hate looking cards up on here. I find that if you just put in the number, GG44, the card number, that's usually the fastest way to find them. Sometimes that doesn't work. If it doesn't, a last resort, or maybe a plan B, go to Google, type in the card, Mewtwo V-Star, GG44, PSA Pop Report, or just type in PSA. And that will usually pull you to the card. You click it and you get to it through that way. I've done that before. It's a longer process if you can't find it, but this is the easiest way if you can figure it out. So you got one of them, selected the card, you hit save. I hit it up to 2, so you can change the quantity back to 1. Save, and there you go. That's your first card. You do the same thing for your whole stack, your whole submission. And then you got to make sure the order you put them in here is the same order you package them in. It just makes the grading process go faster. So for us, YouTube, we've got this Japanese card. I don't remember where I got this. This is Giratina and Garchomp GX. Some Yu-Gi-Oh cards from my childhood collection. My Misty's Gold Duck. We broke this out of a slab on a previous video. I think it was an 8, and I think I broke it out because it was so clean. I felt like it should be a 9 or a 10, so we're resubmitting that. Same with the Heracross. This was a 7. We broke that out because I think it should be a 9. Very clean. Print line. It's got a bad print line through the middle. You might be able to see it. It's running left to right across Heracross's face. I'm curious to see what that does. I don't think it should be a 7. I think it's like an 8 or a 9. Rocket Zapdos, very clean. This is from Celebrations. Vanillish, this was a promo card out of the holiday box, the calendar box. Here are some flip cards from my childhood collection. We've got Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite, Ghastly Haunter, Gengar, Magikarp, Gyarados. These things, I am not sure how to grade them. They are hard to evaluate. The edges are rough. The holographics rough. I have no idea how they're going to do. It's kind of an experiment. 2 of the Pikachus from, I think this is Crown Zenith. Yep. GameStop promo. And then 2 full art trainers that are super clean. They don't go for a ton of money in a 10, but you make a little bit, so figure why not. I'm pretty confident these are 10s. Let's get them in. That's it. If you made it this far in the video, put your favorite emoji in the comments. That's how I know you made it. And then I'm going to pick my favorite emoji out of all the comments, and I'm going to give away a couple of free raffle tickets for our giveaway. You're going to get a couple golden tickets if you've got the best comment emoji. So thank you. I appreciate you watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I will respond, and I'll see you next week. Have a good night. Later.